Good afternoon. It is before sundown on March 19, 2023. How many days is that before March 21st of 2023? March 21st of 2023 is going to be 18 months after September 21st of 2021. Take this very seriously. It's a very important time. Cindy, Laura, Shira, the recovery. This is a tent right here. It's possibly a tent that could fit up to 4 people and their sleeping beds. There is the tent cover. There are the stays to the tent. You have a wagon. Wagon works. It's a pretty good wagon. You got a crate, milk crate. You got a propane stove with a grill top. There is a roll of trash bags, heavy-duty trash bags. There is a propane torch. You're going to need to address the matters pertaining to how to get the canisters. But you can unscrew this, and you can use it to actually fuel the propane stove. You got a small backpack in here. Inside there are 6 pair of socks and other items. You got a cooler. Inside the cooler, you have a couple of cooking utensils, a couple of cooking supplies. The drawer that has a little plastic case. It also has places for storage along with the mirror. In addition to that, you have a bucket, 10-gallon bucket there. You can use that in case you have any sort of personal hygiene needs. It's another bucket that you can use to get water, or additionally in terms of cleaning, the water pitcher. You've got this Folgers can. These are very helpful for a number of reasons. Usually if you put something in here, the animals can't get in here, but that's one of the reasons you got the cooler. Box of vinyl disposable exam gloves. There you have a portable lunch pail. It is one of those ones that has the cooler lining so that you can keep your cold or your hot. Here you have a lantern, which is actually good because you could get candles and you could put them in there and that'll help with illumination. It's actually very sensible to get one of these. Just worry about in the outdoors whether or not the glass panes break. If you can keep the glass panes from breaking, this is actually ideal for illumination, maybe even more than a battery-powered flashlight in some instances. And then you have another portable cooler bag inside here. There is a blanket and some additional protective covering. Apparently this is your recovery, whatever the hell that means. All I know is for over 2 years now, I have been listening in my background to somehow I have to pay you. With all the other things I could have done. Hours and hours and hours worth of, among other things, legal work, legislative proposals, evaluation, any other work I could have done regarding my business plans, regarding my campaigns, anything else supposedly is due to somebody else. And today, you're supposed to be getting your stock. Now, let me tell you something. When I was kicked out of my house and my birth certificate and driver's license were stolen along with everything else I had, all I had to take with me were a pair of house slippers. I didn't even have shoes. And I had a black leather case that had what was supposed to be the court filing to submit to the judge downtown, and 2 books. One was the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and one was the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure. That's all I had when I left. This is actually a lot more than I had when I started. Now, by October, I said all of the women who lived in that place that watched me get evicted and lied to me, by the way, the ones who talked to me actually lied to me while I was on the front lawn, while they were committing a hate crime, and they knew it. I said, look, if every single one of those women in there that has some alternative payment arrangement regarding her rent was out on the streets with me for a 21-day discovery period, we'd own the place. But instead what I saw was tranche after tranche after tranche of women that fit my demographic deployed to the street, and I saw them for no more than 3 or 4 consecutive days before they disappeared. I did not see any of them deployed to the street with this kind of setup. So I don't want to hear anything about white privilege. Personally, is this the emergency preparedness and prevention kit I had in my closet that they wouldn't let me take out with me before they kicked me out? No, it's not. What I had was substantially different. This is practical enough to start. Now, you could go to the library, and the library can tell you places around town you can go to get food. If you're going to risk washing in the blood of Jews, they can also tell you where to go get a shower. Apparently, after 15 years of complete misrepresentation of whatever it was that deal was you guys thought we were getting into when I was asked to be the co-director of that organization. 15 years later, this is whatever you guys did. With those 6 months, I wasn't getting paid. You were making stock. And my understanding is the reason it's valued at this rate is because I just said no. See, saying girls do what they need to survive apparently does not involve saying no to prostitution and no to drugs while you're on the street. If you did say no to drugs and you did say no to prostitution while you're in the street, I contend this is the very basic amount that you could acquire. That this is what you would need to start up. And the thing is, you shouldn't even be on the street for 21 fucking days. But if you're on the street for 18 months, you better have at least this for at least one other girl. And you're not allowed to compromise and say, well, it's okay if you decide, in order to deal with the stress, you got to get high. Or it's okay, if in order to get your needs met, you agree to trade sex for some sort of resource. None of this was acquired because I had sex with anybody as a trade for resources. None of this was acquired because I shared a joint or I shared a meth pipe with somebody. Now, there's other things that have been acquired, but I contend that was evidence in a criminal proceeding, including a criminal proceeding that was not allowed to commence because the court decided to make this a property dispute. And for some reason, judges here in Texas have allowed for women in Chicago to claim they're entitled to the proceeds of that stolen property. Now, so far as I know, none of this was stolen, right? This is supposed to be your earnings, right? And I'm supposed to give it to you. So here it is. Can the three of you make it together? I mean, at least you would have two other people to support you, right? If you started right now and you had this, if you were thrown out on the street with this, could you make it for 18 months? Could you make it for 18 months without engaging in active prostitution or without doing drugs? Go.